Hey guys, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. In this video, I am sharing with you guys what I made for dinner for my family over the last several days. So we're gonna go back and take you down to my kitchen counter and start whipping up some dinners. All right guys, so it is a Monday, and for tonight's dinner, I am making a meatloaf, like a super easy, minimal ingredient meatloaf. I have 2 pounds of ground beef already in my bowl. I'm adding in half a cup of milk, and I'm going to add in this box, the entire package of stovetop stuffing mix, or really any kind of stuffing mix. I picked the savory herbs. It just sounded good, like it would have some extra flavor in there. All right, and I'm pretty sure I have gloves somewhere. I just can't find them right now. You could use your hands. I'm not into touching raw meat if I can help it. So I'm gonna do my best to mix this all together with a spoon. Obviously using your hands would be easier. So I'm gonna turn you guys off and get this done. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees right now. All right, I have a like 2 quart, or I think it's 8 by 8. Yes, 8 by 8 pan here, or dish. I'm going to give it a good spray and then get my meatloaf in here. Now, you could easily, depending on the size of your family, like even my family of 6, well, technically 5, because my oldest daughter doesn't eat meat. She's not going to be eating this. You could half this recipe, but I wanted to make a bigger batch just so, 1, I want leftovers because I had planned on eating leftovers for lunch all week. And then 2, depending on how much is left over, I might go ahead and freeze what we don't eat, and then it'll be super easy as a dinner option later this month or in January, whatever, just later on down the line. It'll be, you know, a quick, easy dinner. I'll just have to reheat it not as long, because meatloaf does take quite a bit, about an hour. Once I get this all shoved in here, I am going to cook it. My oven has been preheated. It's at 350, and I'm gonna cook it for a good 60 minutes. All right, if I had 2 bread loaves or like loaf pans, I would have separated this into them, but I only have 1, so I figured this 8 by 8 would work. Hopefully, this is gonna be all right. I'm totally just trying this out with you guys. I saw like a whole bunch of, I recently shared a 3 ingredient dinner recipe video, and meatloaf like was super popular. It kept popping up, but I was like, oh, I haven't made meatloaf in a while. I don't know like how my kids would like it, but I already had most of this stuff. I just picked up the stuffing mix. I knew that I could find that easily in the store, so I was like, you know what, we're going to try it. Okay, so I got that in there. As you can see, it is going to be a pretty thick meatloaf, so it's definitely gonna take an hour, if not maybe a little bit more. But now you could put ketchup on the top. I'm gonna put barbecue sauce. I have this sugar-free hickory flavored barbecue sauce by G. Hughes. Or you could like not put any topping on it and just have this like as a side if anybody wanted to dip it. But I do like barbecue sauce, and I don't cook with it that often. This has been in my refrigerator for a little while. It needs to be used up. So I figured meatloaf would be the perfect opportunity to use up this barbecue sauce. You can put however much you wanted, however little, whatever. This looks good to me. I'm just gonna spread it out. All right, that's it. And like I said, it's gonna bake for a good 60 minutes. All right, so I've already started, but while the meatloaf is cooking, I'm gonna make one of our favorite side dishes, which is just, I mean, it doesn't really have a name. I just kind of use fresh green beans. I just trim the edges and then cut them in half just so they're easier to eat, more bite size. I throw them in a skillet, and then I will show you guys what else I add to finish off this easy veggie side dish. Okay, so I have my green beans in a skillet here, and I have about 25 minutes left for the meatloaf. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start this and just keep it on low and let it saute the whole time. So I normally add butter and garlic. to these. I do not measure ever. I just kind of look at it. But I picked this up a while ago. I think I got it, I don't think I got it at Aldi. I think I got it at Sprouts. And it's butter, so it lasts a really long time, but I totally forgot about it. I was recently cleaning out the fridge, getting ready for Thanksgiving, and I saw it like shoved behind a whole bunch of stuff in the back, and I was like, whoa, you need to use this. So I'm gonna use this. It is garlic butter with Parmesan and basil. That's gonna be delicious, but if you don't have anything like this, like I said, typically I just put in some butter and some garlic until, you know, I think it looks good. So I'm gonna use this whole container. I'm just popping it in there. And then I also love to use slivered almonds, and I'm gonna have to buy some more soon because I am almost out, and I don't measure this either. I'm actually just gonna use the rest of that. I just turned on my stovetop. I actually put it on medium just until this butter melts, but I'm like, I can't say it enough. This is like super easy. I mean, it's a little time consuming if you like to cut the ends off of your green beans, or you can use canned green beans also. I just love the crispness of the fresh green beans with the garlic and the almonds. But yeah, no, this is super easy, super delicious. Most of my kids will eat it. I do have one super picky kid that is just like hard to get to eat anything green, you know? But yeah, I can't please everybody. If over half of my family likes a dish, I call that a win. So this is definitely a win in my house, and that is what we're gonna have as our veggie side to our meatloaf. All right, dinner is served. Everybody made their plate already, so we definitely have a lot of leftover meatloaf. I only gave my kids a little bit, so they might come back and get more. I didn't want to put too much on their plate and then freak out. So if they like it, they're more than welcome, obviously, to come back and get some more. And then this will be, Paige hasn't come in yet, so she might eat like a good half of this, as well as half of the mashed potatoes. So all I really had to cook was the meatloaf and the green beans, which you guys saw. This is left over from Thanksgiving. So we're gonna finish this off tonight. Whatever is not eaten is going to be trash, but I don't think it's gonna be much because there's not much left in here. And like I said, Paige hasn't come in here yet. So she's gonna make her side plate for dinner, and this is my plate. I already took a bite of the meatloaf, and it is really good. So just add a stuffing mix to your ground beef and you are good to go. All right, so for our dinner tonight, I am starting with some ground beef in my skillet. I'm going to add a little garlic powder. Actually, that was the onion powder that I just added. This is the garlic, but I'm adding both. A little onion, a little garlic. I never measure. I just add this in whenever I am cooking ground meat. And I'm just going to cook this until it is completely cooked through, brown it up. Okay, my ground beef is done. If yours has a lot of extra grease, I would go ahead and drain it. Mine is pretty good. I like this ground beef from Costco. I think it's fantastic. Now I am adding 3/4 cups of water. And then I have taco seasoning in bulk. So I'm gonna add about maybe 2.5 tablespoons. But if you just have a packet, that's fine. A packet of taco seasoning. So I'm gonna turn my heat down to low, mix this in, and let it simmer for about 5 to 8-ish minutes. All right, and while that is simmering, well, while it was cooking, I went ahead and roughly chopped up 1 head of lettuce. So I'm gonna add that into a big bowl. Okay, and now I'm gonna get the rest of my ingredients prepped for my salad while that taco meat is simmering. Okay, I'm adding in about 1 cup of halved cherub tomatoes, adding in 1 green bell pepper that I roughly chopped. Now it's time for some black olives. I probably chopped up about 1/2 cup, 1 can of corn that I drained, and 1 can of black beans that I drained and rinsed. All right, and then about, like, I mean, the cheese is whatever you want. A cup is what like most recipes call for in dishes, but I never measure. And this is about the amount I have left in this bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all of that. Looks good to me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mix all of these ingredients together, but we are not done yet. All right, I did let this cool off for a little bit. It's still warm. That's just how we like it. You could let it cool completely if you wanted to, but I am adding it, all the ground beef with the taco seasoning on it, to my salad mixture. And I'm just gonna mix this up just a little bit. And a fun part that the kids will enjoy is Doritos. So again, you can add however much you want. I'm just gonna crush up maybe 3 handfuls and see what that looks like. All right, I'm gonna do 4 to 5 handfuls. All right, gonna mix all this together and see if I think it needs anything more or more of anything that I've got in here. All right, I think that looks good. I originally was just gonna leave this on the side just in case my kids weren't huge fans, but I mean, they're used to having to try everything I make anyway. So I am going to add, not the entire bottle. I do have a small bottle. This is 8 ounces. I'll probably add about that much. How much is that? A little less than half. And then if anybody wants extras, just for that flavor, I really do enjoy it. So if anybody wants to add extras to theirs, they can. I love all sorts of just big salads for dinner. It's definitely a favorite of mine. Not a favorite of my kids, but I'm hoping because this one has like Doritos in it that they'll think it's pretty neat. All right, dinner is served. So I did have several, the kids have already stuck their fingers in here, black olives left over from the can that I opened. So I just added those here so they can snack on them. And then I've got some extra cheese and some Doritos here. So I gave everybody a little bit, and then I made my bowl exactly how I made theirs, except they have less. Well, Pearl has probably the same amount as I do because she's my best eater, but the other ones just have a little bit, and I added a little extra cheese on top and some Doritos, and I stuck like a whole Dorito in there. I thought that was funny. So that is our Dorito taco salad for dinner tonight. All right, I am ready to start on tonight's dinner. So I'm going to get my oven on. I have a Dutch oven here, adding in a little olive oil. I added in a pound of ground Italian sausage, and I'm just going to cook this until it is completely done. So while my sausage was cooking, I diced up 1 medium onion, 4 celery stalks, and then 1 large red bell pepper, and I'm going to add this now to my sausage. I've got my veggies added in here, and I'm just going to saute this for about 5 minutes just to get them nice and soft. It has been several minutes, and my veggies are getting pretty tender in here. Okay, I am adding in 2 teaspoons or 2 cloves, if you have fresh garlic, of minced garlic, and then just a little bit of red pepper flakes for some added flavor. Not too much though, because 1, my kids aren't huge into spice. Well, some of them aren't, but really it's me. I'm not huge into super spicy stuff. And then I'm also going to add in about a 1/4 cup of tomato paste. And I've turned my heat down to like a medium low, and I'm just going to let this cook for just a couple minutes while I get some more stuff ready to get thrown in here. All right, I'm adding in some zucchini. This is 3 fairly large zucchini that I chopped up. And I also chopped up 5 Roma or plum tomatoes. I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of basil, about a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then a sprinkle of salt and pepper. And now to turn it into soup, I'm adding in 2 32-ounce containers of chicken broth. I'm going to turn my heat back up to medium-high just to get this simmering really good, almost to a boil. And while that is going on, I'm gonna stir this and just make sure everything is nicely combined. Okay, you see how it is starting to kind of get bubbly, not boiling, but bubbly. So that is what I am looking for. I'm going to turn the heat all the way down to low. I'm gonna leave it on low medium actually. And then I'm gonna put my lid on and I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay, dinner is done. I love soup. I wish my kids enjoyed it as much as I do. I would definitely make different recipes all the time, but this is the zucchini sausage soup. And then I did go ahead and just bake up some breadsticks. We like dunking bread into our soup. So this is going to be delicious for dinner tonight. All right, it is time to start getting dinner ready. It's actually mid-morning. This is going to be a crock pot meal. So I have 5 pork chops here, and I'm going to sprinkle all of them with some salt. Also, I have a skillet with some olive oil in there, getting nice and hot for me. I'm adding some pepper. Then we're going in with some paprika. And as you can see, I'm not measuring, I'm just going to town, covering the tops of them. And then lastly, we're going to add some garlic powder. All right, so I have my pork chops in my skillet browning over a little bit over medium heat, and I just set a quick timer for 3 minutes. We're just browning them, but I did put them seasoned side down because I'm gonna go ahead and season the other side with the same 4. So I've got the salt, the pepper, paprika, and garlic powder. So once these are nice and brown, like I said, I just set a timer for 3 minutes. I'm going to turn them and cook them for the same 3 minutes on the other side. All right, you guys, so I wasn't going to use a crock pot liner, but I don't have any regular onion, and I really like onion in this dish. So I have some minced onion, and I didn't want it to burn on the bottom of the crock pot, so I am using a liner just as an extra layer of protection, and I just sprinkle the dried mixed onion in there because, like I said, I want onion. But my pork chops have been browned on both sides, and I'm just going to add them into my crock pot on top of the onions. All right, and then I don't want to lose all this flavor in the skillet, so I just always use the same skillet that I cooked or browned the pork chops in to make the gravy or sauce that I'm going to pour over them. So I'm adding in 1 cup of beef broth, and I'm just gonna use a whisk and kind of stir it around the bottoms and scraping up everything that's stuck on there. And then I'm going to add 1 can of cream of mushroom and 1 can of cream of chicken. And again, with my whisk, I'm just going to whisk all of these together, and I'm just pouring the gravy or sauce all on top of the pork chops. All right, I've got my lid on, and I'm going to cook these on low for 8 hours, and then I will be back later tonight to share with you what we serve this with. All right, it is dinner time, and I actually left for a little bit with Paige. So Mark made the orzo, which we just follow the package instructions. It's kind of like pasta. You just boil it in some water with a little salt, and it is good to go. And then he also made a little side salad. It is very late. I have not eaten anything. So I think my eyes are probably bigger than my stomach here. Because one, this is really, like, this is a thin layer, but as it started spreading out, I was like, oh dang, that looks like a lot of food. So we'll see, but this is my plate. So we've got the orzo with the smothered pork chops, and I always add a little extra of the sauce so it gets all over my orzo. And then we are having that with a salad, and you'll have to let me know. I say this every time because I'm always curious to see who likes cottage cheese on their salad. I absolutely love it. And then I'm a huge fan of the Olive Garden dressing, and then I do add a little bit of sunflower seeds to my salad, and then everybody kind of just picks what they want. But this is what is for dinner tonight. So for tonight's dinner, I'm making some homemade chicken noodle soup. I've got my Dutch oven out. I'm adding in 12 pieces of cooked bacon that is chopped up, and then about 3 cups or just 2 large chicken breasts that I cooked and shredded. I've got about 1/2 cup of celery chopped and 2 medium carrots. 1 cup of milk, 1 can cream of chicken soup, 1, 2, and 3 cans of chicken broth, half a block of cream cheese, and then 1, 2, and 3 tablespoons of ranch dressing mix. I'm going to turn my heat on high and let this come to a boil. Okay, my soup has come to a boil, so I did turn it down to medium. I'm adding in an 8-ounce bag of medium cheddar shredded cheese and about 8 ounces of thin spaghetti noodles. And that's it. I'm just gonna let this cook until my noodles are done. All right, creamy chicken noodle soup is done. There is so much flavor in this. When I do cook chicken for shredding, the seasonings that I like to use is salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. So just in case you guys were wondering. And then with our soup, while I was tending to the soup, I had my husband cook up some grilled cheese sandwiches for all of us, and we just used our griddle. And then we do have a little bit of leftover salad from dinner the other night, so I went ahead and pulled that out as well. Our daughter Paige will probably have salad and grilled cheese and no soup because there's bacon and chicken in the soup and she does not eat meat. But that is what we are having for dinner tonight. All right, so that is what I made for dinner for my family this past week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. I am participating in Vlogmas, which means I'm gonna try to post a video every single day for the entire month of December. So that's 31 days of videos. Lots and lots of stuff for you guys to hang out and join me this holiday season. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow with the next video. Bye.